What are we doing? Ready? 1, 2, 3. Yo, welcome to
I'm still just like
this week's
feeling this track.
first 30. We are so glad that you are here with us today. Sounding a little,
You hear that? Sounds like we're on an airplane.
yeah. Hold on. How's that? That sounds a little better, maybe.
A little bit.
All right. There we go. Well, as always, we're trying to figure stuff out. It's a good thing this isn't for
I wonder what that is though.
mask and stuff. Hold on a second. Let's see. Anyway, I'm Joaquin,
I'm Jake.
and we are here. Yeah. Let's see. Hello. Do I sound? How do I sound?
You sound as loud as I normally do.
Okay, I think. Yeah, hold on. I think we're good. Yeah. Chia boy. Yo,
No,
no,
I still hear it.
no. You're gonna hear it. It's
Yeah.
not gonna. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, okay. That's what it is. No. That's not. That has nothing to do with it.
Okay.
We're in the building with. That sounds a lot better. My switch was hit on something else, and that's why I sounded so kind of far away. And then,
Oh no, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking
Yeah,
about
yeah. That's probably the AC. Hold on. Anyway,
Anyway, whatever. Let's go.
we're here. Talk about something real quick. Let me see if I can lower this thing to maybe it'll drop that.
You think that's what it is?
Yeah, it sounds like it might be the AC. So hold on, just talk.
Anyway, so this is a couple days after Thanksgiving, or how we Puerto Ricans call it, Sanguiri. And I come mucho.
Word.
I'm still comiendo mucho.
Word. Yeah, like my diet is garbage right now. Man.
Yeah, forget about it.
Starting tomorrow, I'm not gonna eat for like the next 3 weeks.
Until Christmas.
Until Christmas.
Right? Until
Nah,
Clima
man.
time. And then we're back.
Nah, man, it was good, man. Mom's made that trifongo, which was
Yeah, I saw.
bomb.
I saw.
I should have brought you a little bit because we still had some left over.
Rocky put some pictures up.
I didn't think.
At the end of it all, I decided not to do mofongo because there was a lot of food already.
Right. Yo, what I'm mad about is looks like the next day you guys made some pernil pierogies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm mad about that because I've been begging for those for however long I've known.
I've been
your wife,
waiting for them
and
for that long.
It's
too.
always like, and then she finally does it when I'm nowhere near.
Yep.
You know,
told you to get a girlfriend and not come by anymore.
I'm taking that as a slight.
Blame Jenny.
Guess what?
Blame Jenny.
I'm going to war with Poland.
Blame Jenny. Nobody told you to get a girlfriend, so you're not around anymore.
Hey, man. Don't blame Jenny. Hi, Jenny, because she listens.
I know she listens. All right, so blame her.
But,
now
man.
you got a girlfriend, you don't come by.
Nah, man.
Now we don't have to bring you food or do things anymore.
Word.
I mean, it's a good thing.
Why do you sound like you hate me, Jay?
I'm not. I'm saying it's a good thing, right? It's a good thing. But it's like, yo.
It feels like Jay's jealous, doesn't it?
When things stop, right? Look next to you. Don't look at us.
All I'm saying is that was like a special. Anyway.
No, it's they're good. They're good, but like it lost a little bit of its flavoring. I think it's because of the pierogi dough.
Right.
So now that we did it, now we can like start working on it to develop it.
Kind of figured out. Word. Yo, man, it's crazy week. Last week we ran across some stories one of the stories we ran across was I don't know how you ran across it, but it was an older story, but it's still a funny story.
Blah blah. What are you talking about?
The Jesus. Talking about Jesus. Jesus.
Jesus.
So we got a couple of things. We're on a granny kick because we've been running across these memes.
Yo, yeah, no lie. I was thinking the same thing.
Dope grandmas. So we're gonna talk about them for a minute.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, yo, last week we had a grandma. This week we got a grandma. Next week,
So let's go ahead and let's start with we're gonna end with number one. We have a list here of things. We're gonna end with number one.
I bet.
So
First of all, we starting.
So let's start with Korean Jesus, because you're the one that sent this, and you were just.
Did I send it? I thought you sent it.
Nah, you sent it to me. You were like, "Look at this dude."
Son, I could have sworn you sent it to Angel and I.
Yeah, no, that was you that sent it.
I don't think you were right, but I'll take it. I don't care.
This is like Final Articles are 2 years old when they talk. This is 2 years old.
Nah, son, you sent this. I sent you an article about a city in Poland that claims to have the tallest Jesus statue.
Right.
And then you responded with this.
Are you sure? I don't remember. Anyway, the point is, this is old, but it's still freaking hilarious. And I found a story in the most perfect website, the Bro Bible. This is very Bro Bible because he's Jack Jesus, right? Because he's swole Jesus.
Son, he's
a bro.
I have never seen a depiction of Jesus like this.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with it.
Yo,
I'm okay with it because I think that if you have to carry the sins of the world, then you should look the part.
Yo, yeah, this is in Korea.
This is long-haired Superman.
Long-haired.
This is mullet Superman right here.
Yo, this is in Korea. And there's a statue of Jesus. And what's hilarious is that we've been saying Jesus is swole. Like, he looks like, looks like he eats nothing but chicken and broccoli, and he works out 6 days a week.
Like, the arms are kind of disproportionate.
I mean,
like, they look stubby, but still, it's probably because of all the muscles.
Yeah, well, have you never seen big swole dudes? Their arms always look a little
12-pack.
A little stubby.
He got a 12-pack. He don't got a 6-pack. He got a 12-pack. He's like Lego Batman that has an extra ab.
Yeah, Jesus was like out here doing like crutches on the boat when we were traveling across the sea.
This is the Gold's Gym. Remember that? Like the corny,
the Lord's Gym.
Lord's Gym, sins of the world.
Yep.
This is that Jesus. This is that Jesus doing the cross crunches.
My thing is, you look at that Jesus, you're like, how was he ever even captured? He should have been flinging Roman soldiers left or right.
Right. It should have been like gladiator Jesus. Right.
When Judas came and gave him the kiss on the cheek,
so I just mushed him.
Yeah, he should have just punched a hole in his chest.
Right. This is Goku. This is Goku Jesus right here.
Yo, like, I mean,
died to save the world, came back. This is Goku Jesus.
Yo, like,
we'll definitely put a picture up so that you can all see.
Like, the angels didn't need to roll the stone away. He would have just punched right through it.
This is hilarious.
That's how swole this Jesus is.
This is hilarious. So
the strongest Jesus there is. There could be only one. It's Jesus. The Highlander got nothing against this dude.
I like how the comment to put, and verily did Jesus lift on every day, and lo, he skippeth not leg day.
Yeah.
And there was much rejoicing and yelling of, bro, this is not your grandma's Jesus.
Yo, so like we'll have it on the when we post up the graphic and stuff for this episode. We'll get Jay to put a picture of that.
Oh yeah, without a doubt, we're gonna throw this on because you have to see it. And it's funny though, right? Because like I remember myself as a kid when I was drawing and I was doing like superhero things. I would do like a muscular superhero type Santa Claus.
Right.
Right. Why you gotta be fat? I would do like just for the hell of it, right? For the fun of it. I've never drawn Jesus, right? I've never drawn Jesus, but I think that 13-year-old Jay would have drawn Jesus this way.
That way,
right? With the muscles, because I was so influenced by like Superman and He-Man and things like that. This looks like
that's a He-Man Jesus.
You know what I'm saying, right? With as disproportionate as he is, this is He-Man Jesus.
He-Man Jesus. That's
the muscles have muscles.
That's the Wild at Heart Jesus right there.
John Eldridge would be proud.
Wild at Heart Jesus. Jesus. So we have Swole Jesus, which we thought was hilarious. Then we're gonna kind of bring up Granny here. So I ran across this story. I thought it was awesome because it's not something I would ever do, no matter what age. A 104-year-old Wisconsin woman bags a buck during the first hunt. So she's 104 years old, has lived a life in Wisconsin, and she bagged a buck.
And probably was on her own land.
104, yeah. She was born in 1915.
Damn.
And
No, that's old.
she got her hunting license at the beginning of the 2019 season, which I thought was hilarious. She went out.
She went out with her son.
She went out with her son, and they just sat in a blind, which is where you sit, for like the animals to come by, so they can't see you. That's why it's called the blind. I love this. He goes, at a little after 4 p.m., a buck shows up about 30 yards away. I, talking about the son, tapped her on the knee, and I pointed. She nodded, smiled, and was real quiet. Then she took the shot. Bill said she was elated. Bill's her son. Bill said she was elated when she realized she made the kill, screaming, "I got a buck! I got a buck!"
Buck.
Blah, blah. And then Bill said the buck was small and a spiked buck, which means it had unbranched antlers. And I thought, Bill, don't be a jerk.
Why are you trying to minimize it for?
Why are you trying to minimize your mom's buck kill, Bill? Maybe Grandma will kill Bill. Bill.
Oh,
snap. Tarantino reference. She wanted to go hunting because she wanted to experience the part of being out in the stand with the boys. So I was like, I'd imagine when you said it by like Bill and his son and like all the whatever, and then she likes the idea of animals. So I thought it was freaking awesome. The other part of this story that was really hilarious is that, and there's a very last sentence. It says, anyone born before 1973 is not required to take a hunter safety course, according to the Department of Natural Resources. Florence made the cutoff by 58 years.
And also, it's almost like she, in her old age, she's got a to hell with the mentality, right? Because the article also talks about how she went zip lining in Milwaukee, and she goes to Mardi Gras every year.
Which I'm wondering if that means that from the moment I think it's in my mind, I was like, from the moment she could, she's been going to Mardi Gras every year. so for 80-something years, I was going to Mardi Gras.
Or maybe
that's dope. Or maybe when she turned,
after 80. Her husband died and she's alone, you know what I mean, right? Instead of sitting home depressed, whatever, like a lot of people do in there with somebody for a long time.
She went and grabbed the deer by the horns.
What did the son say? Because by the spikes.
By the spikes. Hey-oh.
By the spikes. Yeah. But I think it's dope. Yeah. I think it's dope, and I don't care what you have to say about hunting or whatever, right?
Right.
I think it's dope that this grandma, 104 years old.
Yeah.
104 years old, and she is still experiencing new things.
Right.
Right. I remember we talk about this, how there are a lot of people that are stuck in this I can't mentality.
Right.
And so they don't even move from their chairs, right?
And they're 20.
Right? And yeah, they're like 20, 30 years old. And here you got 104 years old, this grandma talking about, I want to go shoot. I want to experience what it's like to be out there in the field and buck.
Yeah.
And she got it. She got it.
She got it. She bagged it, man. That's awesome, man. That was, when I read that, I started laughing. I was like, you know what?
Did she bleed it?
Well, you know what? I bet you her son, like in Red Dawn, her son, right, cut it out, put the blood in the cup. I said, all right, Mom.
Put on her face.
No. Remember, he had to drink it to become one with the animal, like in Red Dawn. That's all I'm saying. She drank the blood. But yeah, so we had a 104-year-old granny. Fantastic. Listen, people, get healthy so you can live to be 104, and so you can be 104 doing really dope stuff and have people go, wow, that's a dope old person, instead of being a boring young person. or a dead young person. I don't know. All right, so what we got here? All right, so granny.
And this is just something on the border of ridiculousness.
Go ahead. What is it?
Daddy Yankee opens a reggaeton museum in Puerto Rico.
So for those of you that don't know who Daddy Yankee is, back in however many years back, his biggest hit song probably ever, because was a hit not only in Latin America but here in America.
It's the song that crossed over,
Right.
right?
Called Gasolina.
It's,
It's
just,
gasoline.
yeah, it's a song that crossed over.
It's a dumb song.
Dumb song, and actually, like a lot of gringos sing it and not realize the double entendre.
Yeah. Well, I just think of me being very literal with it. It's like it's a very dangerous song. Why you want to keep putting gasoline on stuff? It's gonna.
You stupid. You weren't little.
You get a bird.
You weren't little.
No, being literal. Being
Oh,
very,
literal.
being very literal.
I remember walking on through the streets of Atlanta with Washcar, and like people hearing us speaking Spanish, and then like start breaking out in the gasolina. Like the only word they would say was gasolina.
Yeah.
Hey, the gasolina. You guys like that song, right? And we were both like, no, we don't listen to that, man. We don't even like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was so
So
sad.
So for
and
those,
funny
so
and sad.
yeah, I honestly though, you know, I'm going to Puerto Rico in March. I kind of like a part of me kind of wants to go to this
You
museum
need to go, man. It's gonna be right
Just-
where you are.
just because it's like I'm curious, right, as to like what they would put in this museum because reggaeton is not.
Pictures,
I mean, how old is it? How old is
newspaper clippings. No,
But-
reggaeton is old.
It's not. It's not. But how old is old? That's what I'm.
Well, it depends on who you are, right? Because reggaeton is from the '80s. Like for us,
Well-
that have been around since before.
See, according to this, will feature the history of reggaeton starting in 1991.
That's interesting.
I think, if I remember, the rhythm, because remember the reggaeton rhythm, right, has been around forever. It's Jamaican.
It's Panamanian, mate.
Right, so
Really,
Jamaican,
like Jamaican, Panamanian.
Jamaican through Panama,
Uh-huh.
and then no, I think that is right. I think in the 90s is when the Puerto Ricans took it and made it into the thing.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like before that, like mid '80s. I remember El General. Remember El General?
No.
Right? That's the guy who started like with the boom boom, mommy no me, va a matar. That's like way back in the day. And the dembow has always been there. The dembow came from Panama. And I know a lot of Puerto Ricans are gonna hate me for saying that, but like let's be real. If you know
Right.
your history of the music, dembow came from Panama, and then General was the first one who really blew it up.
So I don't know. I mean, it'll be interesting to. I just think it's funny.
I'm just thinking like if it's in the mall, right? It's in Plaza Las Americas, so it's got to be like a small storefront. A small storefront. You hear the dembo coming in through the speakers. You do one look around, and that's it. And you probably get a contact high.
Yeah, it says it'll feature the history of reggaeton starting in 1991.
Oh no! Check it out. Ready? We didn't read it all. Reggaeton star Daddy Yankee is opening a museum in the U.S. Caribbean territory, Puerto Rico, that will be dedicated to his life and the music that made him famous.
Now I definitely want to go see it. So I guess Kanye will be soon, right? But Kanye's gonna build his music. Kanye's gonna build it
in Montana.
in Montana or Wyoming, wherever it is that he bought all that land.
Yeah, I think Wyoming.
all that land. So all the acolytes will
Ooh, good word.
all the acolytes will go make the pilgrimage.
The pilgrimage.
to Yeezy Land. To Yeezy Land. I wonder if they're gonna have to wear the white robes because we're about to talk about that.
Not white robes, brown. They gotta be brown.
Well, they're not really brown.
They're not really brown, like a maroon, right? I guess it depends on the day.
It depends, right? Because they've outside the cream colored robes and they got the white robes.
It's the day of the week. It depends on the day of the week.
Oh yeah, then you gotta, and then you gotta buy it from his store.
You gotta buy from his merch store.
Before you can
the
go
robes,
in.
the robes are like
$1,000,
right? And then another $3 for the Yeezy Crocs.
The Yeezy Crocs.
I guess we're done talking about Daddy Yankee and the museum of Daddy
yeah.
Yankee. 2 Daddy Yankee, 4 Daddy Yankee.
About Daddy Yankee.
Are they gonna have the bullet
So he really is FUBU.
for him by him?
For it'd be I'm not even,
For us by
for
us.
us. I know it's for us by us. I was trying to like flip it, but I
So,
couldn't think of it.
Are they gonna have the bullet? Because isn't that the story? I don't really know much.
Alright, so
about
let's-
the back on the Daddy Yankee. Well, hold on.
Oh.
Isn't it the reason why he called himself Daddy Yankee is because he wanted to play for the Yankees? and he got like shot in the leg or something.
Oh,
You gotta look that up.
I haven't. All right. All right. So why
I'm
don't
not
you-
looking it up.
I'll look it up. While I'm looking it up, set up.
All right, so
set up the Kanye thing.
So Kanye, you know, Close on Sunday. The music video to his Chick-fil-A song, right? The title of the song is actually Close on Sunday, right? And we all know that Close on Sunday is the title of the song, but it's more known as the Chick-fil-A song,
right.
right? Chick-fil-A. So Stan says that all the time. Chick-fil-A. But anyway, so the music video to that comes out, and it's funny because like the last two, or the only two, like if I don't know, but the video to the song before this one, was also shot, like scenes around all his land in Wyoming, whatever it is, Wyoming, Montana, whatever it is, I keep forgetting, with his father, right? So now the video to Close on Sunday comes out right after he reportedly buys even more land, right, in this around the same area, and they shoot a music video, and the music video is nothing. Like there's no big elaborate video. It's basically shots of him in his high-end sand tanks is what I'm calling them, right? Because they're ATVs, but they made to like they're high-end. Like they're not like regular ATVs. They look like they came out of Tesla with the new Cybertruck.
The new truck, yeah.
Right. So and then his family, right? His family like on rocks, covered up in the monochrome stuff and like the bubble vests and whatever. And then other people coming in on those ATVs, including his mother-in-law, who has got like the weirdest look when she steps out of the tank, the mini tank, and she's looking around like the look on her face almost translates to like, what is this? Where am I? Right? But what caught my attention was the scene of all the people, right? I think you saw like one Kardashian sister or whatever, but that's what that said. All the people, and they have like they're zooming out, and this is all these people here, right? But what really jumped at me and made me like shoot it to you and Angel, and I shot it to Junior, and I shot it to like Inside People was the way it ended, where Kanye is standing, and he's the only one wearing a contrasting color so he can stand out, and he's standing there with like his hands almost like in a defeated pose, right, with his palms open, right, and then the Sunday service singers is what I'm guessing, even though there was one there that I pointed out who like it looked like he was a filler guy because he didn't know the lyrics, right? he didn't know what he was saying.
He was like watermelon,
watermelon.
That's what they used to tell you to sing. If you didn't know the words, you say watermelon because it sounds like it kind of matches whatever.
But
when I was in choir,
but it was like they were all surrounding him,
right,
circling him, right, singing to him, right, and it looked like
it
looked like they were singing a song,
like.
right? They were singing a song,
right,
but it looked like they were singing to him,
right,
or about him, almost in a form of worship,
correct.
Right? It looked like worship,
right.
It looked like singers. It reminded me of okay. So every Sunday morning, I think I've said this before, but on the Overflow podcast, we watch episodes of Superbook, right? And there was and of course one of my favorites, because it's also one of my favorite stories of the Bible, Old Testament, was the challenge that Elijah put upon the worshipers of Baal, right?
Okay.
Remember that they built the altar, and then all of the Baal worshipers like circled around the altar, singing and playing instruments and begging for fire to come down from heaven, right? That's what it flashed me to. It looked like they were all worshiping Kanye, right? And I sent it to you quick. I sent it to
and that was the. I mean, honestly, I watched the video and I was underwhelmed with it. I was like, it's like it's garbage. I thought
there was nothing to it.
It's garbage. Then there was the one scene where he's alone on the top of the hill of the mountain,
and he goes down on his knees to pray,
like he's worshiping.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, it's okay. That's like the prayer hands on the CD cover. Yeah, okay. Like it's funny how all these people are singing. You're the only one. How come all these people are singing? That's how my brain works, right? I'm like, especially since I'm so skeptical about just stuff,
everything
right?
anyway.
So I'm like, all right, that's cool, but why not do it with everyone? If this isn't about you, why not do it with everyone kneeling together, praying, worshiping, right? Because this is what it's supposed to be.
Right.
And that was my thinking. I mean, I wasn't trying to like put anything on. That was just my thinking, right?
Okay.
But then, when we get to the end, and everybody is moshing, not in the traditional like death metal sense. Everybody's doing that whole movement thing that they like to do,
choreographed movement.
And then he's just standing in the middle, just like, yeah. That's what it looked like to me. Like he's like, yeah.
And this is the thing, right?
This is about me.
And that's the thing, right? Because again, the truth about Kanye will reveal if there's a truth about Kanye, right?
Right.
And only God knows when Kanye speaks to him, right? But the thing that we know about Kanye is that it's always all about Kanye, even as a believer, right? And all these things, right? He said certain things that are like, yo, like, nobody telling you anything.
Like we talked last week, remember when I was still bothered by the whole like Jesus' greatest victory was that Kanye.
Kanye.
No, was it that the word was like that Jesus' greatest victory is now that the greatest artist God's created
is on his side. Right? And then there's also
and I'm like, really?
When he didn't make the Forbes list, so I'm going to change my name to Christian billionaire Kanye West. Christian billionaire genius, right? Because you can't forget the genius. Yeah. Christian billionaire genius Kanye West, right? So there are things that he's still
that irks me.
saying, things that he's still saying that
makes you go,
that's real reminiscent of like old ego maniac Kanye,
which he's always been all ego maniac Kanye. What's funny is that when he first started out, those first couple of albums, it's like as his fame grew, his
ego grew,
showed more. I don't know that his ego grew. I think his ego showed more.
Yeah, it could be,
right? Because we know people with large egos that around certain people, or we've all met people with huge egos, but then around certain people, all of a sudden you're like, that dude's ego, where that dude's ego went?
Yeah.
Right? But then they get a little pop, and all of a sudden that ego comes out of nowhere, and people are like, oh man, his ego. No. Your ego, his ego didn't grow. He's had that ego. Mm-hmm. He just, but now that he's got more juice, right? He feels like he can let it out more. And I think that's how I've always kind of seen Kanye. But then, and here's the problem with I've said it. We talked about this. With this kind of sycophantic reaction to Kanye saying that he believes in Jesus all of a sudden. Now, I get it. Listen, I understand there's guys that have, Ruslan's talked about, he knows whatever dude who's talked to him over the last 10 years, he's always talked to him about Jesus, and you talk to people. I get it, that's fine. I mean, that's all fine and dandy and great. But that's irrelevant to my larger point, which is when all these, whether CHH people, whether just regular Christian people that have always been about, let me take that back, not always been about, but the culture, that subculture has always kind of looked for what? For the super uber famous person to become a Christian so that we can say, look, we're cool because this super duper famous person is not with us, and it's nothing. I know I'm stepping on some limbs here. It's got nothing to do with Kanye being saved, but it has everything to do with you wanting to feel like
that you're a part of the celebrity.
You're a part of the celebrity by sharing, the same face. It's like when people tell me like, oh man, Joaquin Phoenix killed it as the Joker, and I was like, yeah, well, we share the same name, and we're both born in the same place.
Or how we say, Puerto Ricans are killing it right now in DC, right?
And it's like, well, I mean, of course I say that because I'm goofing, but it's the same
but
thing.
But there are people who really ride that,
right? And
which is right, which makes you think, right?
Sorry,
Destiny's Child, Michelle Williams.
That was me angry.
Right, Michelle Williams, was a part of Destiny's Child. Right? And she's a believer, and she does Christian music, and she does a lot of things within like the kingdom to, well, you know, to push the message of the kingdom, and then now she's doing a lot of other things, right? And like I don't see anybody like celebrating, hey yo,
Right.
And the funny thing is that I know where she goes to church, right here in Atlanta. I know where she goes to church, and it's never like, yo, can we take a picture? Yo, can we do this?
Right.
Yo, can we do that? Like nobody's reaching out to Michelle Williams in like they said like in CHH circles to do things. No one's reaching out to Michelle Williams in CCM circles to do things, right? Like you don't really see her paraded around or pushed up there on this pedestal just because, yo, Michelle Williams was Destiny's Child and now she's singing gospel. Now she's singing for Jesus.
Or what's his name? This is how we do it. The dude.
Yeah. I just brain farted his name.
Montel Jordan.
Yeah.
Montel Jordan. I think we were together. We ran into him at a church here in Gwinnett. We went to like the young adult service, and we're like, oh shoot, this is how we do it, guy. You know, and so because I'm sure at that time we couldn't remember his name either. But we knew who he was. Now once again, here's the dude, right? Sold millions of records. Super famous guy.
Whose song is
still popping,
still being still a recognized song, right?
Still a party song.
And he also put out a worship album.
Yeah, but he's not. Hey guys, here's another famous dude. Why come you guys don't prop him up?
Right.
Oh, it's because once again, right? It's about the pop. It's about.
But again, like Junie told me, right? Kanye is probably the biggest influential person of like this generation,
right?
According to my son, who's Gen Zer, right? So that's why. And then hip hop, right? In the hip hop community, whether Christian or not, right? Kanye is king for this generation. Right. let me add that for this generation. You know what I mean? So, but the thing is that you know me as like Pastor J or whatever, right? Is like, you know who. Yeah, I know the pastor that's over him. Like I don't know him personally, but I know that there's a guy.
Right. We've read up a little bit on it, and right.
And Magda's boss knows him personally, right? But like it's like, bro, this guy, right, as part of his discipleship, right, needs some of that John 3:30, right? Let me decrease so that Christ can increase.
Right?
You know what I mean? Like he needs like that, just like driven into him, right? Because this is the stuff that worries me, right? Because as soon as I saw that video, right, I came right back to when I first saw Sunday service out in the fields, out in the woods,
out in Cali,
right, where it looked like the forming of a cult.
Yeah,
right? I'm not again.
We're not saying
let me clarify.
He's doing that.
We're not saying that Kanye is forming a cult, but there are certain things that seem kind of cultish. Like the blind following, the always in a circle of people singing at you, to you, not with you, to you, right? The fact, right, let's go back. The fact that the St. Pablo tour had him on an elevated stage so that people could raise their hands to him, right, and sing along.
And then he's got a pastor coming down as Jesus.
And then he was pushing himself out there as Jesus, right? And so there are things that are lining up that don't line up, right? That don't line up.
So this,
right? And then you have now again, we're not saying that he's starting a cult. No, we are saying that a lot of cults start out this way.
It looks cultish.
Right? And a lot of cults start out with preaching Jesus and talking Jesus. Right? The Koresh cult out in Waco, Texas, started out with the guy who knew Bible, or who was learning Bible and was preaching Jesus. Right? And then it didn't become about Jesus anymore. It became about David Koresh.
Right. And that's the thing, is that because
Jim Jones also preached Jesus to the last sip of Kool-Aid, right? So
well, that's the thing, right? And because once again, this is why we've all here at the First 30 / the Overflow Podcast have always been against famous people being paraded out there.
Thrown on a pedestal.
Yeah, we're not against famous people come to know Jesus. We want that. But, you know, once again, I think that was the thing that bothered me. I think ultimately that was that's the underpinning of this whole thing for me, is that he comes out, he does this immediately without any, it felt like, or feels like, without any kind of check going, wait a minute, let's
come here.
let's step back for a second.
Let's talk about this.
Everybody, forget Kanye. I'm talking about the CHH people, the Christian music people, all these people that are chasing platforms for Jesus. They just uncritically just jumped on it. Right. Well, but he's saying Jesus. He's saying all the right. Well, you know what? There's a lot of pastors that you talk about that you don't like, that talk about Jesus, but then use it in a very destructive manner.
Right.
And you're quick to condemn those guys.
Right. You know, all this controversy.
We did have
with John MacArthur, right? John MacArthur preaches Jesus, but then nobody likes what he's saying about women. Right? And women in leadership, right? But he still teaches Jesus, but he's still doing what he's doing, right? But look, I got somebody else. Ready? I got somebody else. Somebody else who's super famous, who also came to Christ, right? But it's not being paraded around, right? Who's actually being advised to like take time off and focus on growing in the Lord, focus on growing in the Word, right? And focus on like being there for his marriage, right? Justin Bieber. Right? Justin Bieber is just as big, right? Or if not bigger, right? Sorry, I'm gonna be that guy to say it, right? Or was, right? But the reason why he was is because he made a big statement about stepping away for a bit because he saw how chaotic and how his life was falling apart, and he wanted to fix like his life spiritually, right? And he stepped away from the spotlight. And the only times you really see him now is when like, somebody takes video of him leading worship. This week, he posted on his Instagram the weekly prayer of Judah Smith from the church home app. Right. That's like, okay. Well, you know, what happened to old Justin? Why is Justin Bieber not being paraded around? Why is Justin Bieber not like doing Justin Sunday services or meeters and stuff like Joel Osteen?
You know what? Because, and I'm gonna say, it just seems like because the guys that are pastoring him around him, I mean, he canceled the tour because his pastors were like, maybe you should take a step back and not do this anymore.
Right. Maybe
you should take a step back and kind of heal yourself and kind of work through these things. But then Kanye does it, and he's get thrown out there, and once again, that's what bothers me. Is just the fact that everyone is just jumping on there, talking about, this is real, this is whatever. And then you see things like this that should give you pause. Right. But if you say something, you're just being a hater, or you don't understand.
You're not believing in God's word.
You know, it's like when I saw an interview Eshawn Burgundy did, because Eshawn Burgundy, a rapper who is phenomenal, so you should look him up. You know, he tweeted out there, like, y'all should maybe take a step back on this, you know, not just jumping on this thing, whatever. He got tons of flack, and people were like, well, don't you see what God's doing? Because, he put out an album praising Jesus. Well, so did Snoop Dogg.
And he won the
and he won a gospel award for
it.
BET. You know, so what does that? So what? What does putting out a gospel album mean? It means nothing. Nothing at all. So
we need to use more discernment.
We need to use more discernment. We gotta be careful with this kind of stuff. We're always gonna talk about this with the overflow of the first 30 because we have to be careful. You know, if you don't think, people gotta remember, and I'm gonna end it with this. We gotta remember, Satan knows how to disguise himself to make himself look
as an angel
of light. Because he was
the angel of light,
right? And we have to be careful. That's how we start pushing this stuff. We get caught up in this stuff, and then inevitably, indubitably, stuff happens.
And you know what?
And then I was somewhere wondering why people.
And let's not forget that that Satan tempted Jesus with scripture. Let's not forget that the book of Isaiah teaches and talks about how Satan was an archangel that spent his time before the fall singing worship, hovering over the throne of God, singing worship, and had, as described by the Bible, like instruments built within him, right? So if anybody knows how to manipulate both scripture, music, and
Culture.
culture, right? Because he's the biggest influencer, right? And and manipulate how he is perceived, right?
Right.
It's Satan himself.
Yeah. So guess what? Keep buying those $800 Holy Ghost shirts. Idiots. I'm done. So we're gonna switch that to the last two things. We're done for the day. As always, we always have trailer and song, and so the trailer is the new Sonic the Hedgehog trailer. We hadn't posted up before, but they changed the way he looks. Now he looks more like the game
No, he looks more
in the
like the
cartoon, and it looks like a silly, fun movie to take Bean to, right? Like that's the kind of movie it is, right? And now to the opposite of Kanye as far as music.
You're so stupid.
But am I wrong?
No, you're not.
All right, then.
No, you're not.
So I'm
No,
not
you're not.
stupid.
No, you're not.
I'm a genius. Heard the song this week. Phenomenal song.
Right.
Everyone needs to hear it. One of our favorite groups here.
And the excuse me, and the music video.
Yeah,
Music video
was great.
It's awesome.
Christafari dropped a song called Asante Sana, which is some Kenyan.
I believe so.
Some kind of African.
Right, I believe so.
And it's featuring a Tundem band,
Which is a local band.
which is a local Christian band.
Locals of Africa.
Yeah.
Not to here.
Yo, check them out. Like I said, we'll have all the links and stuff. Great song. It was such a great song. So that's it. So that is the first 30.
Well, this was the first 30-ish.
This was 30-ish. As always, we
let us know your thoughts on what we're talking about.
Let us know, man. And listen, the first 30 is for us to get on our soapbox.
Boop,
And that's what we did. Hey, thanks for joining us. We're so happy that you have. Love you guys. And we'll talk to y'all next week. Next week.
Next work.
As we start barreling into the new year. Merry Christmas. As always, I'm Joaquin.
And I'm still Jay.
Yo.
Peace.